Hey Taurus, welcome to the Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today I'm going to do the general September reading for the sign of Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. So if you know your sun sign and it's Taurus, you're in the right place. If you know your moon and your rising signs, make sure to look for those as well. I went ahead and already pulled the spread. Um, Keep in mind that Mars goes into retrograde on September 10th, which makes the energy a little bit different. All of the readings that I've done have just been kind of, I don't want to use the word chaotic, but there's been a lot of reversals, there's been a lot of energy. Not all of the energy is necessarily clear. Um, because a big component of Taurus retrograde is rethinking how you use your energy, rethinking relationships to a certain extent, and things like that. So curveballs can happen. Um, Everything can kind of be up for debate, up in the air, subject to change. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. However the messages come through for this reading, you are not alone. So I went ahead and used the Thoth deck for the main energies. Albana wait for the clarifying energies. Pulled a few for each week roughly to get you through the month. Some of these energies will hang around for longer, some for a shorter duration. All are subject to your personal situation, so take what resonates and leave what does not. In the first week of September, we have the Two of Discs reversed, which has been haunting a few other signs as well. I just did Aries, and it was Aries as well, so if you have Aries in your chart. Clarifying that, we have the Ten of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, which is nice. Okay, in the second week of September, we have the Four of Discs reversed and the Five of Pentacles reversed. And keep in mind, there's a 4-5 here, 4 and 5, so there's going to be movement regardless of these reversals. Okay. In the third week of September, we have the Nine of Discs, which is great. It's paired with the Page of Cups. In the fourth week of September, we have the Four of Wands, and that is paired with the Moon. This has been in so many readings as well. And that is clarified by the Five of Swords reversed and the High Priestess. So what's important to understand about both the High Priestess and the Moon is that they're both really intuitive energies, but they both kind of have this element of things not being quite clear and you not having all the information yet, which is very normal for a retrograde. So usually what I recommend for Mercury and Mars retrograde in particular is that if you're rethinking things, if you have decisions and choices to make, give yourself a little extra time to think those things through, to allow information to come forward, and for you to have the space to change your mind towards certain things. If you want to, you might have a sudden urge, because Mars rules urge as an impulse too, right? You might have a sudden urge to go a certain way, and then it could just flip like a switch, right? So be mindful of that. I would say don't jump into any new endeavors until the retrograde is over. And use this time to really revise and plan for the end of the year, basically, into November, December. Okay, so let's start with this Two of Pentacles. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Again, as I was just saying, I feel like there's this kind of impulse or this drive for you guys to move ahead or move on into something new. I think you crave change on a certain level, and there may be some frustration because the Two of Pentacles in the reversal is just kind of saying, not yet, it's not time yet. What you can use this Two of Pentacles energy for is to make the necessary changes within you. Because that will get you more prepared to make the necessary changes that you do want to make in your life moving forward after this retrograde is over. So use this time to really clarify you, clarify what you want, clarify who you are right now at this moment in time, clarify what you are moving towards, and what you need to resolve or do in yourself to make that vision possible, whatever it is. This Two of Pentacles doesn't necessarily mean you're stuck, just because it's the reversal. It may just mean that you're not moving forward in the physical material sense, but it gives you a great opportunity to really look within and shift some things within you, right? Spiritual alchemy, that's what this card is. Clarifying that, we have the Page of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands, which is good. Again, I'm getting the sense that you really want a new start in something, some area of your life. It may be career or house, because we have the Pentacles here. And the Wands, this is like inspiration, enterprise, this is physical material world, finances, things like that. You want something different, you want something new, you want to grow in a certain capacity. And this Ten of Wands is telling me that there's something that you're really, really done with, something that's been stressing you out, something that kind of feels like you're beating a dead horse or something like that. Just this feeling of putting so much work and energy into something, and maybe you're just not getting that much out of it. So that's stimulating this desire to really want to move forward. But you have good energy with you, because you do have the Page of Pentacles here. You know, like this Ten of Wands didn't come out alone. It came with the Page of Pentacles. And so what's nice about that is not only are you ready to let this go, but you have the energy available to you to let it go and to move on to something new. This is the seed of something. But it may be within you this week. You may not be taking physical action yet, but this is the spark of, I know what I need to do to move forward. And sometimes it's just like, I experience this all the time. Sometimes it's like there's something that you really want, there's something that's pulling on your heart that you know you can manifest, and the only thing that's holding you back is that you're not ready. And the universe isn't going to give you anything that you're not ready for. The universe didn't give me money for a really, really long time because I didn't know how to manage it. And then as soon as I took it upon myself to learn how to manage money with the money that I already had, and then looking forward to the future, what I was going to do with my money when I was in a better financial position, and really took action on those things and proved that I could handle it, boom, the universe gave me more money. So it's just things like that where it's like, you can be like, why is this not happening yet? And the only reason it's not happening is because there's something you need to do within yourself to prepare yourself for whatever you're trying to manifest. So that it's not a disaster, so that you don't drop the ball, right? You want to be prepared. I experienced this in success too. It's like, wanting success for so long and not getting it, and wondering why nothing was ever happening for me, and then realizing that I wasn't emotionally prepared to handle success. And when I started gaining more success, I could feel that I was handling things that I wouldn't have been able to handle a year ago, just emotionally, because the more you care about something, the more things grow. The farther away you are from that starting block, the more real things get. And you need to be prepared, right, for that realness. It's easy to be, in a sense, when you have nothing to lose. It's so much harder to be and to do and to take risks when you do have things to lose. So keep that in mind as you move forward. Get yourself ready emotionally, intellectually. Make sure you have all the information, for whatever it is that you do moving forward, so that it can be a success when it's really time to get off those starting blocks, whatever this is. In the second week of September, we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. You may just be feeling really, really self-protective, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I do feel a shield kind of over my heart as I'm tapping into this energy. So some of you may just be really concerned about money. There may just be stress about money. You may be kind of coveting your goods, holding your possessions close, things like that. That could be for some of you, which is kind of traditionally how this card can be read. I would also say that for most of you, I get the sense that you're just guarding your heart in some capacity. And that can be you're holding back on expressing yourself, expressing how you really feel. With artistic endeavors, this can always be like you have it in you, you're just scared to show it. You're scared to write that song, you're scared to perform that song, you're scared to showcase that art, whatever it is. And the same thing for like a business project or something. If you have like a really good idea and you're worried it's going to get shot down by your boss, there's kind of this sense of like keeping it close to your heart and not letting it out. This in relationship, this could mean that you're not being vulnerable or intimate with the ones that you love, um, because you're afraid of rejection or you're afraid you might get hurt. Yeah, if you're feeling small, Taurus, well, first of all, you're not. Nobody's small. Everybody has the universe within ourselves. If you're feeling small, I would recommend maybe taking that risk and reaching out to somebody in your life that you know will support you no matter what, um, or even reaching out to a professional if you're in that kind of situation. That obviously won't be necessary for all of you, but if you're really, really in a tight spot, reach out to a professional, get help. Therapy is amazing. I recommend it to everybody. Um, because I get a sense that things in the past that may have been a blow to your self-esteem, which may not have been your fault, Taurus, it may be affecting how you move in the how you move in the world in general, but also how you move forward with whatever this endeavor is. Because you may not. I mean, I get the feeling that some of you just don't believe in yourselves, and if you don't believe in yourselves, then how can you really take the actions you need to take to move forward? Because fear is keeping you from that. Um, the fear of success, if anything, and imposter syndrome and things like that. So, um, do what you can to bolster yourself up. It's paired with the Five of Pentacles, also in the reverse. I like this better in the reverse. Um, I get the sense that you are being self-aware about whatever it is that you're feeling that you're kind of guarding yourself against. Traditionally, this card is kind of like poverty mindset, not necessarily true poverty, although it could be, but poverty mindset in all areas, not just finance, but just it's kind of this feeling of like, oh, they're okay and I'm not, right? First of all, everybody's situation is far more complicated than you can see from the outside. So even though they look okay, it doesn't give you full insight into whatever it is that person is going through, because everyone's going through something. But there can be a real sense of victimization with this, of like, why is it always me? Why am I always the one suffering? That story. And so just be mindful of that story, because it's not effective in creating the life or the identity that you want. I mean, by all means, nurse your wounds, right? There's something to be said for validating the emotions underneath it, but the story that bubbles up about why is this happening to me, why is everyone else okay and I'm not, that's what keeps you small. That's what keeps your confidence low. That's what makes you feel like you're this victim of the universe, right? And that nothing's ever going to happen for you. And that's just not true, Taurus. We manifest our reality, which is a blessing and a curse, right? The stories that we tell ourselves are reflected back to us all the time. And the better the story, the easier life becomes. I mean, I know it sounds really privileged and simple, and in some ways I recognize the privilege of that. Still, no matter what your situation is, there are things to be grateful for, and that frequency of gratitude is how you can tap back into the flow again and start to attract more things to you. The key to manifestation is really gratitude. And gratitude is not polar to validating and experiencing the emotions that make you sad, that make you angry, that make you feel dejected, because those are all valid, but it's just you're changing your relationship with them and you're holding space for both without the why is this happening to me story, right? You're just cutting to the thick of the emotions and really feeling them and allowing them to flow without stagnating or cycling through something over and over and over again, which is not helpful. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I just get the sense that you may be going through it a little bit in the second week of September. You may have a bit of a wobble moment, which is normal. We're all kind of going through it collectively. With this reversal, though, I get the sense that you're bringing more self-awareness to that. I don't think you're super blind to the fact that this may be a problem, that some of your narratives, some of the stories you tell yourself about yourself are holding you back because you're not being nice to yourself, ultimately. So try to see how you can shift your relationship with yourself so that you can cultivate more self-compassion more self-intimacy, because that's really, really key and crucial to whatever it is that you're trying to manifest right now with this, right? Um, with this Page of Pentacles, with this new start in your physical material world that you would like to grow and see happen for you. And you can have it, Taurus. You can have it. It's just going to be some work, right? But I don't just mean work out in the world. I mean work inside yourself. That's the real work. In the third week of September, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is an amazing card. I get the sense that you have a breakthrough moment here. This may feel hard, this may feel difficult, but I don't think it's in vain. I think you have a real breakthrough moment coming into the third week of September. Nine of Pentacles means financial gain in part. It can also mean gain in any area of your life that you value. Most importantly, it means gain through self-acceptance and self-esteem. And so this is a card of you really growing your confidence level, which is great. I mean, there's so much movement from this Four of Pentacles of feeling small, right, to this Nine of Pentacles moment where you really feel like you're filling yourself out and embodying a higher frequency of confidence and self-love and self-acceptance and self-esteem and the ability to move forward with will, with driving willpower. And another nice thing with this card is when it's good for manifestation, because once you tap into that frequency of self-esteem, and I recommend you do this after your wobble moment, when you have that breakthrough and you're feeling really good about yourself, which, you know, feelings fluctuate. It's not like anything lasts forever. So strike when the iron's hot. When you have that moment where you're feeling really good about yourself, where you're feeling really confident, where you're like, yes, I can do this, manifest. Consciously manifest. Build the vision, give it to the universe, let it go. And channel that emotion and that gratitude, because that is one of those pinnacle moments where you create change just by shifting that frequency and then giving it a concentration and releasing it. Yeah, I see something happening for you here if you take advantage of this energy. It's paired with the Page of Cups, which means kind of a new start emotionally. Something that I would recommend with the Page of Cups, because it's not the Ace of Cups, right? The Page of Cups is, you know, you're starting to walk down that path rather than looking at the infinite potential. You're starting to walk down the path. The Page of Cups can be an offer of love. It can be an offer of business if it's something that you're really passionate about, like a good, solid business partner that sees your vision and wants to make it manifest. Now, seeing this card here and then seeing this card here as well, if any of you are in romantic relationship right now, you may have a breakthrough as well. It may not just be business. You might feel like you're guarding your heart, protecting yourself from your significant other. You may have a breakthrough moment, and then this could be your offering of greater intimate connection, of greater vulnerability with a partner. So keep that in mind as well. It could be that. I don't say this every time with the Page of Cups, but what I'm feeling, especially since we have all these pinnacle energies here, what I'm feeling is that whatever emotional breakthrough you have here with the Nine of Pentacles in the third week of September-ish, ground it somehow. Like, I want to see you come up with, and it doesn't have to be a big thing, come up with some sort of plan for your mental health. Like, think of something that you feel really, really good while you're doing it, or you feel really, really good after you do it. Like, a great example of this would be, like, exercise. If you identify that you're not getting enough exercise, or any at all, right, and you're realizing that's affecting your mental or emotional well-being, it's like, you know, the Page of Cups could be a recommitment to exercise because you know you'll feel so much better. And even if it's just, I'm going to do 10 push-ups a day, right? Something that just gets you off the starting blocks, gets the flow going. Because if you come up with this big thing and you have this huge expectation of yourself for this like 2-hour-long workout every day when you're not working out at all, that's not going to work. You're not going to do it, right? The Page of Cups is just take a tiny little step. Do 10 push-ups a day. because you're going to feel better, right? Drink more water because you're going to feel better. Just pick a thing. Pick a thing that you know will make you feel better and healthier, um, and do it. One small thing, and you're going to feel so much better. Just those little adjustments. Number one, just that little adjustment alone, those 10 push-ups a day, that extra glass of water, can already work wonders. But the other thing is, when you take that first step and you make it a habit, it sets that path in motion. You have this momentum now, right? So you have that extra glass of water a day. Maybe you don't drink water, and this is your commitment to having one glass of water a day. Let's say that, right? One glass of water a day becomes 2 glasses of water a day. So much easier when you've already got that baby step starting to become a habituated pattern, right? The more you advance in a certain direction, the easier it is. One of my old best friends used to always say, if you drink water, you crave water. And it's absolutely that. So take that little step and then let it grow gradually, and also see what shifts from just that little step, because it can make a really big difference in your life. The littlest things can make the biggest difference sometimes, and we don't think about that. Like, we think we have to go hard, like all or nothing. And that really just keeps us from doing things in moderation that would make us feel a lot better if we did them, you know? So don't listen to that all or nothing story. Do something really, really small. Okay, in the 4th week of September, we have the Four of Wands, and that's paired with the moon. So let's start with this Four of Wands. There could be just a lot of unrest in the household. I mean, it's August, going to be September now. This pandemic has been going on for a while, and maybe the people that we live with, roommates, family members, significant others, maybe they're making us a little bit crazy. You're going through a bit of a transformative moment here. Things feel a little wobbly, and this could just be like, oh, this person's driving me crazy. Could be that. Probably somebody in your household, not outside of it. If that's the case for you, a few things. One, practice being discerning in whoever you're having conflict with without blame, shame, or judgment towards you or the other person. Like, try to drop all stories of who's in the wrong. Also, make note that if somebody's really coming at you, like if you're not, I mean, Mars retrograde can really stir up anger between people, and arguments can be a little bit more elevated than they normally will be. So keep that in mind. It's not you, it's not the other person in that sense. It's just the energy is just a little bit. So be mindful. Be mindful of what you're saying, obviously. It's like if you go into Mars retrograde, knowing it's a Mars retrograde, you can kind of be self-aware enough to be like, oh, I'm not going to speak because I know it's going to be an impulsive, angry thing, right? So try not to speak impulsively out of anger. If you're having a moment like that, that will help. If the other person is really coming at you, try not to take on their shit. Like, don't blame yourself. If somebody's really coming at you, blaming you for something, telling you it's your problem or whatever, but they're the ones coming at you, it's not your problem. Okay? So if that's happening, try to practice really good boundaries and discernment, and being like, okay, that whatever that noise is, that's them, that's not me. That's their story, right? So, and if people trigger you, because we have the moon here, and I get the sense that with this moon card, there's going to be triggers, and there's going to be emotions, and there's going to be emotions you don't quite understand, because they come from a deep place. You know, something can happen, like, here's a really good example. Once I was, this was like a year ago or more, once I was like getting on the train to go downtown, and somebody was just like really on my ass in the train. Like, they were like bumping up against me and like pushing me out of the way to try to get to the train faster, and there was like no reason for that because it wasn't going to speed anything else up. There was room. This guy was just kind of being an asshole and really pushing on me, and I lost it. This dude was like twice my size, and I lost it, and on him, and I had this moment where I was like, okay, first of all, like, yeah, it was annoying, but like my reaction way outweighed like what the situation entailed, and I endangered myself because the dude was in a mood and he was way bigger than me, and then I totally lost it on him, right? And so I had to have this moment where I was like, okay, what was that really coming from? What was that trigger really coming from? Because whatever was happening in that moment, I was acting way out of proportion to what the moment called for if I was really being in my authenticity, and like in the current time. So I did a bunch of digging to isolate that trigger, and what I found was like something that had happened with someone at school when I was like 5, right? And I was having a reaction as if that was happening again. So, I mean, that's what a trigger is. Like, when I talk about triggers, that's what I mean. I mean, when somebody really, really grills you, when you go into like a dissociative state, or if you really amp up and get anxious or angry, and the situation doesn't really call for it, which it takes a while. It takes a lot of personal development building to cultivate the discernment to know the difference between when you're triggered by something or when you're just having natural emotions in the present time. But especially with family, if you live with family, and I guess anybody you're close to, people that you live with kind of take on those family dynamics. If you're being triggered by somebody that you live with, I would do some digging, because family more than anything, can really bring those deep-rooted triggers from childhood out of us. So if you have a moment where you're really acting out of alignment with what the situation would really call for, don't slip into blame, shame, or judgment of yourself. Exercise compassion, exercise curiosity, and just feel into the emotion itself. Like, what do I really feel like I need here that I'm not getting, right? What's the fear? And see if you can just kind of clear that energy or bring awareness to it within yourself, rather than coming back at the other person. Like, I think it's probably better in this month with the retrograde going on to just exit a situation with somebody if things get heated, because with Mars retrograde there can be a lot of fight and no resolution, and you'll drain yourself and make your situations awkward and trigger yourself more, which you don't want to do. So if you can bring awareness in that moment to just exit from the situation and then clarify how you're really feeling and what the trigger's coming from, you will be able to navigate this more eloquently than possibly than the other person, right? So remember, their shit is their shit. If you have shit come up, don't bring it to them, bring it to you, bring it to yourself, and exit the fight, exit the situation. And try to channel your anger in other ways. Like, if people are really grilling you, people that you're living with are really grilling you right now, then get some space. Get some space from them, go on a walk. Whatever you do to channel emotion, whether you dance, whether you exercise, whether you sing, whether you do art, like any of those things, just go to those things that really feel like they move the energy out of your body. Not social media or TV or anything that just kind of distances you from the emotions that are happening, but whatever actually allows you to channel the emotions out of your body so that you clear it in the moment, so that you clear the trigger, rather than just ignoring it, right? That's a really important distinction, okay? Okay. Clarifying that, we have the Five of Swords and the High Priestess. Okay, so the Five of Swords in reverse. Again, like the Five of Pentacles, I like this better in the reverse. Yeah, I was already picking up a lot of this when I was talking about the friction with family. The Five of Swords reverse can mean that you are battling it out with somebody else. In the reverse, there's a little more awareness. You may not be like running story unconsciously so much as you're running a story or snapping at somebody and then noticing that you're doing it, right? There's kind of more of a conscious awareness towards whatever it is that's happening, which is great. I love the awareness that you guys seem to be exercising. Also, in the reversal, this can mean that you're not actually fighting anybody outside of yourself. You're just having internal battles within yourself. And so if you're doing that same thing, try to isolate the trigger, move out of story, move into your body, and then move the emotion out. Okay, that's how you get out of trapping yourself. It's always the body. The body has an intelligence and an ability to move energy out that the mind doesn't. The mind just reacts to what the body's doing. So if the mind is spinning a story, The mind's not going to resolve it. It thinks it can, but it's not. The body will, and it just needs to move. The energy that the body is reacting to just needs to be moved out. So it's like if you find yourself in your mind, drop in, move out. And it's paired with the High Priestess, which makes me feel very, very confident that you can do this. The High Priestess is very, very intuitive, and pulls her answers from the subconscious, right? And this is really the key here for everything that you're going through. The way to just exit the story, exit the noise, exit the bullshit, and slide into that subconscious body emotion place. That's your sweet spot. That's where all of these energies will actually be diffused and resolved. So try not to let your mind run the show this month. I mean, by all means, give it a job. Let it plan out, whatever it is that you're planning here. But anything emotional, anything aggravating, anything involving relationships with other people, drop out of your mind into your intuition, into your body, and diffuse the situation that way. Yeah, the High Priestess is a really great indication to me that you guys are ready for this kind of work. And so, for that, I'm very proud. Okay, I think that's all I have for you guys. This is a lot of information. This is a lot of emotion, potentially. But I don't think it's out of your depth. The energy's agitated, but it isn't entirely ungrounded at all. I mean, you're Taurus. Most of you are very grounded. And if you're not, you can ground easily. It's just that matter, again, like I said, broken record of like moving energy into your body, moving your consciousness into your body, rather than spinning up here, right? It's really not healthy, but we do it as a society. It's very normal in our society, even though it's not a foundation for wellness to do that. But you're Taurus. You can drop into your body, go to your comfort zones, your creature comforts, have sex, eat food, do Taurus things. And you will be fine. Okay, so if you have a personal concern and you would like to see how these energies are playing out in your specific situation and come up with a personal plan, you can schedule a private reading with me in the description box below. And I'm excited to meet you. Otherwise, like this video so other people can see it. Hit subscribe if you want to see the next Taurus video. And otherwise, I will see you guys in October. I love you. You can do it. We're going to get through this retrograde-y September together, okay?